Did you guys know we recently hit 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube? Well, we'd actually be at more like 6,000 if the 85% of you returning viewers actually hit the subscribe button. You scroll down just a little bit and there's going to be a subscribe button for you guys right here. You can even hit like on the video or share it with your friends too while you're down there. And our description box down below also has links to all of the different socials I have. And the best part is you can even leave a comment telling me how much you enjoyed the video, or didn't. I don't care, it's your life. Subscribing doesn't take anything but that 1 second of time, and it really helps make sure that you don't miss any of my uploads. So if you are enjoying watching all of my content, it helps you out, and it helps me out. Now that you've done that, let's get back to the video. What is up, guys? Ninja Nick back with another round of the Japan Champions League. Looks like we got some 8 and 2s here, so this is the second round of day 2. We do have, it looks like a Gardevoir deck here on the right, and I would believe that to be Chien-Pao on the left. Don't we love Chien-Pao? I ended up moving some uploads around previously because there was like 6 Chien-Pao games in a row. And I saved 2 of them for later, and then I like weaved them in afterwards. But my god, does Japan love Chien-Pao? I think a lot of us over in America have decided that Chien-Pao is just not worth it. Which is so crazy to me because like Keldeo Blastoise was such a good deck back in the day, but they reprint these Pokemon with even better attacks, and you still just can't. It's just rare candy into Baxcalibur as a support Pokemon is just not good anymore. If you want to have a rare candy evolution, it just seems to need to be something like Gardevoir EX or even just the Terra Charizard EX. Those can either hit really hard or be like absolutely phenomenal support, with like their stage 1s being draw Pokemon like the Curlia. So stage 2's still not too much of a thing in the format if you're ignoring those 2 outliers. I think once Paradox Rift becomes a thing, I think that we're really going to be seeing the return of the big basics. I think Miraidon is probably going to be one of the top decks in my opinion because of the fact that Iron Hands exists. The Iron Hand says for 1 lightning and 3 colorless or something, you do I think it's like 100 or 120, and then if it knocks out a Pokemon with that attack, take an extra prize. And then there's a tool card that gives it free retreat and plus 20 attack. So with that you do 140 times 2 for weakness on the on like Lugia V-Star, and you take 3 prize cards. It's absolutely absurd. You can knock out Curlias, you can knock out baby Gardevoirs if there's any damage already on them. And yeah, so I think that will be very much a meta-defining card. I don't think it's broken, but because we've had quite a few Pokemon with similar attacks previously. We had that Stoutland was really good. It helped Lugia be a very good deck pre-rotation. But there was like a single prize Guzzlord you could Beast Ring to that took an extra prize. I mean, that's like mediocre in GLC. A format where you would think that would be a meta-defining card. And of course 120, I mean, you can still like damage some Pokemon with a different one first. Like it might make Miraidon's like Mew matchup better. Like maybe now you don't have to play Drapion. You can just hit a Mew VMAX with a Miraidon, and then after that hit it with the Iron Hands and then take 4 prizes. So I mean, that feels like a fair trade, but we'll have to see how that goes. So nothing too notable about both players' openings here. It looks like this Gardevoir player might not be drawing too well, but we did get a couple battle VIP passes for the Chien-Pao. You love to see that. They started a Frigibax as well as double battle VIP pass to get Frigibax, double Bidoof, and a Chien-Pao. I would have really liked to see maybe the retreat into the Chien-Pao to use Shivery Chill Or maybe instead of second Bidoof, get like Radiant Greninja in order to draw some more cards. But I would assume that none of those other plays happened because there's no energy in hand. That would be the assumption. So this Gardevoir is trying to decide what to do. They're thinking about the rare candy here. What would be really good is if you were able to retreat into Mirage Step Kirlia, rare candy into Shining Arcana, and then Mirage Step out 3 Kirlia. That's like my favorite turn 2 play with Gardevoir. Of course, you don't have 3 bench spots right now because you do have the Radiant Greninja. But it's a thing that you can do. I think my first ever game with Gardevoir, when I was testing it before the set was even legal and before rotation even happened, I think it was pre-rotation. I was testing Gardevoir, and I did that like 2 games in a row. I did Rare Candy, Shining Arcana, Mirage Step into triple Refinement Kirlia. So it looks like we are going to research here, getting rid of some resources there. You don't like getting rid of that Super Rod too early, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. We did find a Gardevoir EX off of this. Maybe we have another rare candy. We can just go straight into that. Of course, you do prefer to like go into all the Kirlias first, just because then you can refinement a whole bunch of times and just get your discard and your hand set up very well. It looks like that might be what we're doing. The only thing that this board state really needs right now is I feel like we should have one more Ralts. We should find one more Ralts for the bench. So we're going to use this level ball to find a Kirlia. And I'm assuming if we don't find a Ralts off of this refinement, we probably have something along the lines of a Fog Crystal or another level ball or an Ultra Ball to maybe find that Ralts. Wouldn't be too bad. It looks like we're going to get rid of an Ultra Ball with this Kirlia. So will we see that? End of the turn will be with Roar of the Sword, of course, as well. I see no reason not to. So here is the level ball. Oh, that's going to get the man. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. I completely forgot that he's against Chien-Pao for a second. Yeah, even though there is no Greninja on your opponent's board, you have to prepare for it. You have to assume that they have it. Get out that Manaphy in order to make sure that they do not just use Greninja and take 2 prize cards at once. And here comes, it looks like an attach for turn plus Roar of the Sword will start setting up this Shining Arcana on the bench. So not the worst start from Gardevoir. Again, not the best. I think maybe instead of the Zacian, we could have had maybe the Ralts. We'd have 1 less energy in play, but you'd have access to more refinements on your next turn. But sometimes you just have to hit harder and faster. And his hand is not looking super good. It's just all Gardevoirs. His hand is oops all Gardevoirs. You ever see like the Crunch Berry beams? It's like oops all berries. I love those memes. So it looks like we are going to have the energy this turn. We're going to retreat our Frigibax into the Chien-Pao. We are able to use that Shivery Chill ability on it. Since it's now in the active spot, you can search your deck for 2 water energy cards and put them into your hand. Unfortunately, all of these energies, while nice looking, are very mismatched, and it gives me anxiety. I normally say a lot about how all of your arts on all of your cards should match. I don't really believe that as much for basic energy, just because it's a lot harder to track your opponent's basic energy count unless they just like... I mean, not by the arts at least, because you can play more than 4 of them. Right? But I still like everything to look the same. So we are going to evolve to Bibarel, be able to draw a few more cards until we have 5 cards in our hand. Evolve into yet another Bibarel to draw 1 more. And we already had the Rare Candy Frigibax before that, Rare Candy Baxcalibur before that, and we find an Irida. With this, we could actually find a second Baxcalibur to set up, would not be too bad, but it looks like we are going to go for that Radiant Greninja that was prepared for by the Manaphy. So really good on this Gardevoir player to be able to find that Manaphy here. But what will be our item card? I would assume maybe... How many energies do you have available to you? You only need one more to take the knockout. Ooh, looks like we have a cross switcher that we're taking. We might actually have double cross switcher, canceling Cologne, 3 energies to the Greninja, knock out both Manaphy and the Kirlia. Would be pretty good. Pokestop away. Was that double Irida? And Palkia V-Star. Wow. Okay. I think if you had Pokestop in hand already, maybe you use that before the Irida so that you have a higher chance to mill at least one cross switcher, and then you use the Irida to find the other one. It's the same kind of reasoning as why you would search for a Fusion Strike energy first before you play an Elisa Sparkle. Because then there's 2 more Fusion Strike energies in deck to potentially draw into. Just always, you got to play the probability game, and it's sequencing is very important in those cases. Looks like we are going to look at the opponent's discard pile. We're already almost halfway into the match, 25-minute rounds. We're about 11 minutes in now, and neither player has taken a prize card. We are going to have to see these players play a little bit faster here. I don't think anything was wrong with the pace of play of the Gardevoir players so much, but I think this Chien-Pao player is like trying to figure out what to do with this hand and just can't. And yeah, they just sat there for quite a while not doing anything. I think that they should have just passed a lot faster. Again, as I keep saying, when you tie in Japan, it's actually it's actually not a tie, it's a double game loss. So you don't want to be getting a double game loss. At least respect your opponent and allow them to take a win if they've earned it. And it hurts your own resistance that way, too. I'm not sure how resistance is calculated in Japan, but I would assume that it's not too far off of how ours is. So you want your opponents to be doing well in a tournament in order to make your tiebreaker score a lot better. We do use the Mysterious Tail. We are going to find a Fog Crystal off of the top 6 cards there. We've already used 1 Refinement, 1 Concealed cards, as well as the Shining Arcana, and now we're going to evolve to the Gardevoir EX and start loading up our dudes with energies. So our opponent was not able to take any prize cards, and all of a sudden this Gardevoir start seemed like it was going to be bad, but all of a sudden, even with just 2 Ralts in play, having to evolve all the way up on the Gardevoir EX, we're still probably going to be taking a knockout here on this Chien-Pao EX, the only one that's in play, and take a 2 prize lead against our opponent. So looks like pace of play for the Gardevoir deck is actually slowing now. But we did use our Collapse Stadium to get rid of our own damaged Mew. That way, if our opponent does go for the cross switcher play, there's 1 less target on the bench that can just be auto KO'd by it. So if they go cross switcher Manaphy, they can knock out the Manaphy, and then maybe the what is now the active Gardevoir. But they won't have the option of knocking out that Mew. So we are going to take the knockout here. Looks like that's 60 damage on the Gardevoir, so that should be 80 HP remaining. So yes, the cross switcher play could still become a thing. So we'll have to see if that is possible right now. And there it is, double cross switcher. Who are we bringing up? I'm assuming it's that Manaphy. We do have Greninja in the active spot right now. We have how many energies in the discard pile? We have 3. If we have a superior energy retrieval, that is enough, but we still need that canceling Cologne. Gonna get rid of a Super Rod as well as a rare candy. The Super Rod feels a little sad to have to get rid of here. But here comes triple energy, and now we're going to Bieberl. We don't even have the play yet. We're just hoping we draw into it, and honestly, I like going for that. You have to go for your win condition, just hope that you can find it. Play out as many cards as you can out of your hand. You don't have double Bieberl, but you do have the 1. I think I missed it. Did he discard the Bieberl with when the Collapse Stadium came down? I was paying too much attention to the Gardevoir's board. That must have been what happened. Yeah, I'm not sure if I agree with that. Especially since you know that you're forced into this position this turn. You would have really liked to see double Bieberol here. And now you can't knock out the Gardevoir because it's on the bench. Manaphy protects the bench. You can use Greninja to still knock out the Manaphy. It is in the active spot. If we have maybe a Pokestop, we might be able to dig a little bit deeper into the deck. We haven't used a supporter yet, right? So if we have Irida, we could do that. Yeah, it looks like we're just attacking the active. That is a really pitiful Moonlight Shuriken here. Not the worst Moonlight Shuriken I've ever seen. I've seen Nick Moffat attack an active Cramorant with Moonlight Shuriken when the opponent had a Manaphy on the bench. So just doing 90 to an active, taking no knockout. That happened at Pittsburgh, actually. Looks like we are going to Boss's orders. Bring up this Baxcalibur. That is the only Baxcalibur that's in play. At the very least, this is going to force some more resources out of the Chien-Pao player in order to try to find the next rare candy Baxcalibur. And a rare candy was already discarded off of that superior energy retrieval we saw on the previous turn. So this is a really great play from Gardevoir here. To be able to recognize that the likelihood of seeing another rare candy is pretty low. So if they just take out the Baxcalibur right now, they might not even see an attack from the opponent for the rest of the game, and they might just be able to swing with this Gardevoir all the way to victory. And since both players are 8-2, they don't really want to be taking any more losses for the rest of the tournament. They do need to make sure that they get into the top 16 cut. So, Palpad is going to shuffle a couple supporters back into the deck. We do have an energy there on that Zacian, preloading it up a little bit, and we are just going to swing for the knockout on that Baxcalibur. And yeah, again, if you're this Chien-Pao player, you're in a really rough spot. If this was best of 3, you'd probably want to scoop by now, just go to the next game, but it's best of 1, so you can't. So we are going to see if we can set up another Baxcalibur, maybe even find a Chien-Pao, maybe we do have the Manaphy no longer in play, so if we can find Rare Candy Baxcalibur and like a superior energy retrieval, we might actually see this Greninja take a 2-prize turn here. You could knock out one of the Ralts as well as the active Gardevoir. I think maybe you'd want to go after the memory skip Ralts, just because that is the that one could always just come up and stop you from Moonlight Shurikening again the next turn. You'd rather force them to try to knock out your Greninja than just memory skip it. That would feel pretty bad. We are going to find the Palkia for the bench. Superior Energy Retrieval is getting rid of a Boss's orders and that Battle VIP Pass. That's not good since it's not turn 1. We're going to get 4 energies back from the discard pile. I do believe that... Oh, no! There's only 3 in there. I thought we'd have 4 in there by now, but I guess not. We do have 1 on the active. And the bad thing with this is Palkia V-Star is already in the discard pile, and we've discarded a Super Rod. So the likelihood we can find that Palkia V-Star again might be low. Some of these decks do only play a 1-1 Palkia V-Star line. Some of them do play 1-1 Arceus V-Star. Some of them play 1-0-1 Pidgeot, which I thought was going to be the correct way to do it, but it's just so hard to rare candy that many times with this deck specifically. You could do like the Arceus and the Pidgeot and the Baxcalibur like all at the same time, but it helps you set up the Pidgeot for sure. And we are going to finally take a 2-prize knockout, going to go evened up on the prize trade here. So if you're Gardevoir, I think the exact thing you want to be doing right now is you want to be Super Rodding the Manaphy back into the deck and then refinding it. That would be pretty good here. It looks like we are going to evolve into Curlia specifically. We're going to search through our deck to see what we have remaining. We are going to find... Ooh, does that do anything? No, I guess not. We're going to find the Cresselia. That's just thinning it out of the deck. Its first attack can heal 20 damage off of all your Pokemon and put that damage onto one of your opponent's Pokemon, but you don't have enough Psychic Pokemon in play to be able to knock out the lowest HP Pokemon your opponent has, which is the Bibarel. So just using that to thin it out of the deck. And I would like to see another Ralts come down. I would like to see the Manaphy come back. So we are probably doing whatever we can to just find the Super Rod here, if we do not already have it in hand. And I would assume that we don't at this point, because you would want to save that level ball for after the Super Rod, if you had it already in hand. So we are going to use one level ball. I think there is still one more level ball left in hand. So if we have the concealed cards here, which we do have a Psychic Energy in hand, we could maybe find the Super Rod off these next two cards, then Super Rod, and then level ball again. So we will see here. We are going to put the Cresselia on the bench. I guess there's no reason not to. That does thin it out of your hand in case it gets Iono'd back into the deck. You wouldn't want it in there. Or judged or something like that. And yeah, this is a little bit of a predicament to be in now. What you'd really like to be knocking out right now is probably the Palkia, in all honesty. But you would need Boss's Orders for that. He could have also been digging for that as well. But now if he just takes the knockout on the active with the Gardevoir EX, he will actually be putting himself at risk of being Chien-Pao'd on the next turn. If the Palkia evolves to the V-Star, we could see Star Portal, the V-Star power of the Palkia V-Star, bringing 3 more energies back from the discard pile into play so that the Chien-Pao can knock out this Gardevoir in one hit. There might even be... I don't think there... Is there enough Pokemon for Palkia to even attack? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... times 2, 160, 220, and there's 4 on it, so no, probably not. Now, attacking here with Zacian is fine if you have the Boss's Orders, but I think he does have the Boss's Orders in hand. He has not played a supporter yet. I think maybe get the Palkia. Yes, so he is going after the Palkia. At least this way, you know, if the Palkia V-Star is able to come out, it would Star Portal, or you could still get the Superior Energy Retrieval to help set it up. So he's going after the Palkia because then it forces another Superior Energy Retrieval specifically, as opposed to if he went after the Chien-Pao instead, we could always see just like another Chien-Pao get benched, and then Superior Energy Retrieval and Star Portal both be options. So make your opponent have only 1 out as opposed to 2 outs to maybe take this knockout. And even if they do take the knockout on the active right now, they will have to will have to take 1 more prize card to win the game, and of course you should be very easily able to take your last prize card on your next turn. So we are going to see the Shivery Chill does get 2 water energy out of the... Oh, actually, I guess by going for the Palkia, you open up Shivery Chill as well. So I guess there was no correct answer. I guess maybe the correct answer would have been the Chien-Pao, because you already saw the Palkia V-Star get milled. So yeah, I guess in hindsight, it would have been correct to go after Chien-Pao instead, because the Shivery Chill is an option. So it looks like we are going to use our Bibarel as well here. We're going to find the Pokestop, get rid of the Moonlight Hill. And we are going to mill the top 3, and we do get the Superior Energy Retrieval off of that. That's actually pretty huge. So we can just start loading energies into play here, as many as we can. What would really be nice is if we had 1 more different attacker. I guess you could just set up the Baxcalibur to take the last prize, right? You would potentially need Boss's Orders, but... Looks like we are just going to go and take the knockout on the active now. Making sure we load up the discard with even more energy. I think using the superior already, setting up maybe the Baxcalibur might have been fine, but it looks like we do just see the boss on the Baxcalibur and the knockout with the Gardevoir EX, so it didn't end up mattering. We had the second boss anyway as Gardevoir, but this could have gone Chien-Pao's way if it was just able to go one turn faster, and that's the problem with Chien-Pao a lot of the time, is that it always feels like it's just one or two too many turns behind. So as always, guys, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe and all that, and we will see you all next time.